Luminescent depths, a realm of singular beauty. Scale Gorge waterscape is the same as when I last laid eyes on it. And here we stand so different from one another. The flesh of long-life species may be immortal, but the constant of heaven and earth eludes them.
You know the Vidyadhara hatching rebirth cycle, General. The waters of the ancient sea have cleansed Danfeng of his past sin. The person that once stood here alongside you is no more. I am Dan Heng. Whether Danfeng was hero or villain has nothing to do with me. I bore his punishment, accepted my eternal banishment without complaint. But do not let his shadow cloud your estimation of me, General.
Raising old nets only darkens the water, an exercise in unhappiness. Perhaps it is your visage, the horns on your head, or the unmistakable air of the High Elder that makes the separation nigh impossible for me.
I already told you,
You did, but to what effect? If words alone were enough to change the heart, this world would be without quarrel. If you wish to rid me of the illusion of Danfeng, you must do something for me. Before I can let Danfeng die and revoke your banishment edict, I need him to do me one final favor. I can guarantee you that when it is done, you will no longer walk in anyone's shadow aboard the Loufu.
I may not be capable of the things that Danfeng was capable of.
You must do it, or my promise will count for naught. If you wish to blame someone, blame your previous incarnation. Had he not committed that terrible sin, had the power of dragon transmutation been passed on intact, I would have no need to compel you. It is as I said. Here we stand so different from one another. Danfeng is no more. Now, there is only Dan Heng. But I am the general of the Loufu. There are things that I wish I did not have to do, and yet I must. Let us talk of happier tidings. The friends you made on the Express are here. Do you wish to see them?
You brought them here?
Yes. They are waiting in the Dragon Vista. I have been keeping careful watch against the abominations of abundance, the Stellaron hunters, and the disciples of Sanctus Medicus. The hunt is far from over, yet all the while we find ourselves at war with other evils. Our intelligence tells us that the Legion are a mad and destructive war machine. Yet they never took up arms against the Alliance. The armies of the Seven Ravagers all have their own means of... Lord Ravager Fantalia favors internal collapse, which is why she masterminded the Stellaron crisis and urged the disciples of Sanctus Medicus. Do you know something? When Danfeng committed his great crime, the Ten Lords Commission advocated strongly for him to be destroyed. The Vidyadhara, on the other hand, were split evenly in their favor and disfavor of the motion. The dragon transmutation inheritance was not intact after all. The senior Vidyadhara hated you, yet did not dare to kill you. The Vidyadhara were under great pressure. In order to placate the Ten Lords and Skyfaring Commissions, they performed an exuviation charm on Danfeng against his will. Still, They ensured that the charm contained a flaw, thinking that this would fool the Ten Lords' commission. The senior Vidyadhara were sure of their scheme. But you cannot hide fire with paper. Look, your friends are taking the fight to the Legion as we speak.
We need to help them. Let's go! I sense a storm.
This is our chance. How about this?
Conflict is pitiless!
My turn.
The strength. The heavens surge. Rise!
This is our chance.
Here, this thunder!
Told you I could fight.
Time for... Show no mercy!
The heavens surge. Break!
Rules are made to be broken.
Conflict is pitiless! Was that it?
The heavens surge. Rise!
This is our chance.
Follow my charge.
My turn.
I sense a storm. The heavens surge. Break!
Xing Yuan, where have you been?
Forgive my late arrival, Lady Fu. We are indebted to you and your forces. The Seat of Divine Foresight relayed the battle reports to me. As for Fantilia's plan...
The Ambrosial Arbor. That's her focus. Lord Ravager Fantilia's strategy was to create civil strife, then let it consume the Xianzhou from within. She wanted to use the Arbor to disseminate the power of the Plague's author, and turn the Loufu into a hell of undying abominations.
That is clear to me now. Friends of the Astral Express, I have brought someone with me whom I think you'll be eager to see.
Huh? Is that... Don Hung? You are Don Hung, right? What's with the horns?
It's a long story, March. It's me.
So, you do have secret strength.
Let us save such reminiscence for later, shall we? My astral guess. When you first appeared on the Loufu, your stated aim was the resolution of the Stellaron crisis. I was concerned that the Stellaron hunters harbored ulterior motives and refused your offer. I see now that I was overly anxious. Nevertheless, it is true that the motives of the Stellaron hunters were not what they appeared. In order that the Express and the Xianzhou fight side by side, Kafka lured you here and broadened the scope of the crisis. In doing so, she succeeded in making it clear that your sincerity is beyond doubt. The Loufu is in your debt, and I have no right to seek further assistance from you. However, as Lady Fu has explained, the appearance of Phantilia means that the situation is far from under our control. As General of the Loufu, it would be foolish of me not to ask Dan Heng and the rest of you for your strength at this critical moment.
Even if the crisis on the Loufu had nothing to do with the Stellaron, I would be willing to help. But I can't speak for the other members of my crew. Explore, understand, establish, and connect. As the crew of the Express, that's the Trailblaze creed we follow. Still, when the journey gets tough, those words can feel far off. Fear, risk, enemies, and death are the obstacles we face in pursuit of the creed. That's why the nameless who are able to stay the course number few indeed. Whether our destination lies before us or behind us, the decision is ours to make. Here, as on the Express, every vote counts.
Dan Heng?
Thank you, Dan Heng.
How am I still one of the nameless? I stand here at the mercy of others without true freedom to speak. But as a descendant of the Vidyadhara, I will fulfill my duty to the Loufu.
Great! Everyone's just as heroic as when they arrived. So, what's the master plan, General?
There is no master plan, only a bet. A bet on the senior Vidyadhara's incomplete exuviation charm, and on Dan Heng's ability to access the memories of the High Elder.
High Elder?
When the Rainbow Arbiter severed the Ambrosial Arbor, remnants of the curse of the Plague's author lingered. In order to make the stemming of those remnants a possibility, the Loufu invoked the power of the Scions of Permanence. Under the direction of the High Elder, the Vidyadhara guided the waters of the ancient sea to flood the Scale Gorge waterscape delve and contain the Arbor. To commemorate this magnificent feat and sacrifice, the Alliance erected the Dragon Vista Rain Monument, a Vidyadhara statue.
It looks so much like Dan Heng. I wonder if... the statue... is that... Dan Heng's brother?
I see why you might think so. These events occurred a long time ago. Yet successive generations of High Elders have not differed greatly in their appearance. That is, until the current generation. The most recent successor did not inherit the same level of power, and their appearance is that of a child. Do you understand, Dan Heng? Since Dong Feng perished, the Loufu Vidyadhara have no longer had an individual capable of performing such feats. But you, who once kept watch over the Arbor, should be able to open a way through to that great tree. What happens next is in your hands.
烈星海解放，万军雷霆的巨响，摇撼星魂激荡，惊涛骇浪，胸口鲜血滚烫，淬炼出张牙锋芒。我一生一希望，在领域重任之上。
The annals mention that Scale Gorge waterscape was once the location of Dragon Palace. Small wonder. Look at all these submerged structures.
I was fortunate enough to be here during the Xianzhou upheaval period. I witnessed this place in its prime. An age passed. The palace was left in ruins, and the Vidyadhara used their sacred homeland to imprison the Arbor. The Loufu and the Xianzhou are greatly indebted to them. Lady Fu.
Here, General.
Remain here. Lead the Cloud Knights in defense of this passage. We must prevent further incidents.
Jingyuan, General, are you planning to face Phantilia alone?
I wouldn't say so. I'll be counting on a few friends for support.
General, don't cast us aside. We're willing to go with you.
Yes, General. We may not be the mightiest force, but it's our duty as Cloud Knights to protect the Xianzhou. How can we let Outworlders face the danger while we stay behind the lines? With your permission, sir, allow me to lead the way.
I understand your sentiments, soldiers. But the adversary ahead of us is not an abomination of abundance. They are a Lord Ravager of the Antimatter Legion. Crossing this line will bring you into the conflict between the Rainbow Arbiter and the Ruin Author. You have a more important duty.
Cloud Knights, attention!
After I enter the Ambrosial Arbor, and if the seawater returns to its original state, you must withdraw immediately and seal off the delve once more. The Master Diviner will lead you.
Yes, General!
Lady Fu, if I am unable to return, I entrust you with the important task of relaying the full account to the other Xianzhou ships.
I trust you will be here to reissue the order in person. But whatever the outcome, I will do as you command and honor the mission.
Spoken like a true general.